What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel. You're watching Miguel EDC, the channel where we talk everything EDC gear here. And today we have a knife from Vosteed. This one just came out, super fresh, recently just dropped. And I'm just excited to go in here and obviously showcase and share with you guys all the goodies about this one. We are talking, of course, about the, are you ready? Bam, the Vombat. Hopefully that's how you pronounce it. I'm giving it my best pronunciation effort, guys. Yeah, this one's going to be a very interesting one from what I understand. It should have a lot of different scale combinations, a lot of cool features. And guess what? We even have two other boxes that are going to make a lot of sense later in this video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to it here. Doing the honors today, we have the Porcupine here from Vosteed. By the way, guys, if you've been wanting to pick up a Porcupine, the stock on Amazon, I was just informed it has been replenished. So definitely check it out if you've been meaning to pick one up and haven't been able to do so in the past. But without further ado, let's get in here. Let's see what this Vombat is all about. It's like combat with a V. So V for victory. I'm not sure, but it's definitely an interesting name there, if I say so myself. Let's see here. We got their iconic pouch here with the leather patch in the middle right there. We have, of course, the paperwork and the usual stuff. That's right. We got a sticker. We got a wiping cloth, right? All that good stuff. But here we go. All right, let's go ahead and see what this thing is all about, shall we? All right, there we go. There it is. And bam, here we go. I mean, right off the bat, man, this is a sweet combo that I'm already going to like. I'm all about the monochromatic aesthetics for the most part. But this one comes in all kinds of color combinations under the rainbow you can think of. So that's definitely something that we'll definitely look at here in just a second. Now, first impression, super lightweight, man. This thing is so lightweight. It is insane. I'm definitely going to pop this thing on the scale right now because it is insanely lightweight right off the bat. I mean, look at that, under 3 ounces, right? That's how lightweight this thing is. Under 3 ounces, or the equivalent of 83 grams for my friends across the pond. Couple of things I'm noticing here that are different or unique, right? We have this wire clip, this insert right here on the wire pocket clip, right? They call it a decoration plate, which is pretty neat. It's patent pending, and by the way, there's a few other patent pending features on this knife we'll talk about, but that's pretty neat. You can actually, if you do it on the website, you can custom order it with your logo on it, which I think is pretty neat if you want to really personalize your knife. This knife is going to be all about personalization, making it your own, right? Really going above and beyond with what mods or customizations you can do to it. So wire clip here, which is pretty deep carry, as you can see, and it's also reversible on the other side. I'm also loving the diagonal milling. I am a sucker for milling on a knife scale, and this one definitely has the sauce going on both sides. And check out the jimping back there. First time ever I've seen jimping, right, like this in the very back of the handle. So that's an interesting call right there. Of course, it's going to be a crossbar lock from Vosteed. We got thumb stud deployments here with the crossbar lock. This one has a pop of green on the thumb studs there. And so far looking really good. Now, the trick up the sleeve with this one is that you should have, or you do get, we're about to test them out here in just a second, hot swappable scales on this one. So we're going to go ahead and test that all out here in just a moment. But without further ado, bam, there it is, guys. This is one of 2 geometries that you get. And I was hoping that I got a chance to check out this one here because this one is the one that spoke to me the most. There is this buoy blade right here, like this one. Got the nice fuller right there, satin finish. This is M390 steel, guys. Not anything like 154 cm, no 14C, 28N. M390, right? So future me slap that HRC on the screen for all my HRC folks out there. But there it is, fuller. Bam, we got jimping and jimping on 2 different places, right? Dual jimp zones, if you would. So that's looking pretty tight. Flat grind, beautiful satin finish with some reflection going on there. Just what the chef ordered, right? With that pokey tip, digging that. And as far as the close action, I mean, yeah, obviously it's going to be very smooth. This thing is on ball bearings. It's going to be very nice and easy to actuate here. Deploy, reverse flick. Oh yeah, can do that all day. And honestly, I mean, it's a good size, I mean, medium size knife, right? I have average size hands, not the biggest of hands or smallest of hands, and I'm able to get a full purchase, full 4-finger grip here, right? Plenty of, just a tad bit of handle there left. No forward choke position. This one doesn't have like a finger choil like you would have on, say, the Raccoon or the porcupine per se, but I think they did that intentional so the knife wasn't too big. You know, I tend to get this in the comments sometimes. I personally like a finger choil over a non-finger choil knife. I've also seen other people complaining, or I guess voicing their opinion in the chat, saying, why do we have so many finger choils? We want more cutting edge, you know. And in my mind, I'm like, you know what? That's a valid point. I sometimes don't need that much of a cutting edge, but the finger choil definitely comes handy for specific grip or whatnot. So let me know in the comments, guys, what is your take on that? Would you rather have a longer cutting path and no finger choil, or do you appreciate a finger choil even though it may take a little bit of cutting path of edge from the knife, right? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious to know, but action on this thing, yeah, very, very smooth, very nice there. Obviously, this is going to be a very fidgety one. It's ambidextrous for my lefties out there. So lefties rejoice. Obviously, I have zero dexterity on my left hand, as you know. It left the chat since birth, so I'm doing my best here. Clearly, you're going to be able to manipulate this thing a lot better if you are a lefty. And the wire clip, like we said, is reversible. We have a proud liner sandwich construction going on here. One standoff in the back, a little bit of a lanyard tube, right? There's no lanyard hole, but they give you a lanyard tube back there, right, in case you want to use a lanyard. And then we have this interesting, so kind of like a slightly different take on a crossbar lock. It's still pretty much essentially and functionally the same thing, but you see this little shape in the middle. It's a little bit rounder. It's called the ball roll bar. Say that 10 times fast. Ball roll bar. And of course, it's patent pending, supposed to enhance the smoothness and reliability of the crossbar lock over time. So that's an interesting new touch there. So be interesting to see how that goes, or you know, how it feels over time. Obviously, after I test this knife sometime, it does, you know, I can see that there's only contact going down the middle, right? Since it's only making contact like really smack in the middle, not like entirely like your traditional crossbar locks. So maybe there's something there to be said about this new approach. So it is patent pending as well. But of course, the star of the show here with this knife, guys, is going to be the scales. So something special going on with these scales. Vosteed themselves, they offer many different options, and you can even 3D print some scales yourself. So if you have a 3D printer at home, right, you can do so, right? From what I was reading from Vosteed, you do have the ability to 3D print some scales yourself, but they definitely got you covered with aluminum and PEI. And as a matter of fact, this is the part where I bring back these two boxes, because guess what? We have something special on this one. Looks like we have a orange aluminum handle on this one. Then we have some PP scales on this other one too. So honestly, you can get this guy by default with the scales that you want, or you can get it with maybe a few other scales that you know, you can swap into later on if you want. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of the process of what it is to install one of these. Maybe, I don't know, the orange ones or the yeah, let's do the orange ones, and then I'll show you another quick B-roll of the PP ones as well. One thing's for sure though, they put the password on these boxes right here, so I'm trying to, come on Miguel, let's get in here, you know, unboxing 101. But let's see what we got. All right, so okay, listen, right off the bat, well, I mean, obviously you have the scales right there, but I'm mostly impressed by this. You got a few additional, what do they call it, the little plates for the pocket clips. So that's a nice, interesting thing. I was not expecting that at all. Some have the horse logo and some don't. So there you go. And we have some additional hardware on here. I know it's a little bit hard to see because of the camera, so maybe, you know, the little shine from the lights. So there we go. We got the plates. Maybe zoom out a bit, Miguel. I might do it. There you go. You got the hardware. Bam. Got the Omega springs. Then we got, oh man, look at this. Look at a full custom package right here, ladies and gentlemen. We have additional thumb studs of different colors. I don't know, maybe green is not your cup of tea. You want to black it out here. You want to do gold. You want to do blue. I mean, look at that. 3 different thumb studs. I was not expecting that at all. Then we have some black hardware. So they do give you the ability to color combine if you want to go the black route, meaning you got the matching black hardware, or then you got the silver hardware. So that is nice. And in case you're curious, yes, it is steel hardware. You know, it is still a reasonably priced knife, guys. The thing is that this knife is coming in, I think, 130-ish, $139 or so, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely under $150 for an M390 knife with, you know, already aluminum scales from the get-go by default, And then obviously you can do all these other stuff to it, right? Like the swappable scales and all the other stuff, which is pretty neat. So I want to put these away. I wonder what sort of care package, if you would, is on the other box. See, now I'm intrigued. So let me take a look here. And again, I'm going to do the swap for both so you can sort of see what those look like. It looks like it might be a standard set, right? So look at this. We have pretty much the same colors of plates. We have the same colors thumb studs, gold, black, and blue. And then, you know, silver and black hardware. So that's like a standard package with a few options on there, right? If you want to go that route. So that's nice. It's nice that they even give you that many options, honestly. You know, they're not forcing you to buy, you know, specific, you know, color just to get the specific thumb stud color or whatever. These are the PEI scales, are nicely individually wrapped here, right? And they have, yes, they do. They have that cross diagonal milling going on as well. Absolutely very nice. It feels so good, right? Very grippy on hand. All right, so PEI, right, scales going on there. Those are looking tight. And here are the red, or is it orange, aluminum scales. Oh man, these are pretty sweet too. All right, so check them out, very lightweight as well. This one has a different pattern on it. Has diagonal lines, but they're a little bit thicker and also shorter as well, not as tall. So check that out. So let's see what the whole swap process is like. You know, recently I did a whole scale swap on the MSI and I did one on the Stitch. So if you haven't checked that out, definitely check out those videos. These knives completely changed when I put on these scales, and they have now been seeing a ton of pocket time recently. So swapping these should be a breeze. All right, so if my theory is right, and obviously I'm not going to look up a video, I'm going to give it a shot myself to see if I'm able to figure it out, but it should be pretty simple. I'm noticing the pivot screw is under the scale, so you should be able to completely take out the scale without getting to the pivot or anything like that. So you're not going to mess up alignment or anything, which by the way, alignment is pretty good. And also, yeah, that lockup is nice and solid as you would expect. So based on also the holes I'm seeing on this guy, it looks like we would just need to do this 1, 2, 3 screws, right? So that's really all it is. I'm going to use my good old trusty Autocold D1 like I have been using recently. This thing is titanium, right? One of my favorite bit holders here for a while. So I'm going to put it to work. It is TA hardware, by the way. So TA hardware everywhere. Absolutely love that. T6 only on the thumb stud, and yeah, even the pivot is T8. So you could adjust the pivot too from here, right? You definitely have the access from this little hole there. So you don't have to take out the whole scale just to tighten up the pivot if you needed to. But pull my magnetic tray here just so that they don't go flying on me. And here we go. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, look at that. Took out the 3 screws and the scale came off just like that. We can see on the inside, by the way, in case anybody's not familiar with how the crossbar lock knife works. Well, these are the liners, by the way, and they're nicely milled. That's why we're still getting such a nice low weight, right? 2.9 ounces we said at the beginning of the video. So very lightweight EDC for sure, especially with the aluminum combo and all that. So the other thing that's very interesting too, kind of similar to the Kaiser clutch lock, we have multiple areas here where we can adjust the omega spring. Right now it's in the middle setting, which, you know, feels pretty good, pretty decent. So you could make it a little bit looser if you slide the omega spring back, or you can make it a little bit tighter if you slide the omega spring forward. So very simple process right there. You know, with a crossbar lock knife and disassembly, you just want to make sure you do it very carefully. A hot swap like this should be pretty easy to do. By the way, here is a body screw. So this is why the whole thing stays together when you take off the scales, because you have the pivot, which is a whole separate screw, which we can see from the outside. You can now see what the inside pivot screw looks like. And then we have this body screw, which is always hiding under the scale, I'm sure, with the cutout. There it is, with the cutout on the scale just for it. So that makes a lot of sense. So even theoretically, we could take off the other side. Let me do that really quick. There you go, guys. Theoretically, we can take out both scales and the knife is still functional, right? Obviously, you want to be very careful here because you do have cutouts in here. You don't want to get in the blade path or anything like that, but still holding on together, obviously, you know, one body screw, pivot, right? Good to go. And then, yeah, swapping these guys, 3 screws on each side, can't mess this up, right? Very easy, very straightforward. We can see the little plate here on the wire clip, how that sits. And I could replace this one if I wanted to. It actually snaps in place pretty well. Look at that. Stays on pretty good. I don't know if you guys heard that pop, but let me do that again so you can see it. There we go. Yeah, pops in place, and then you line it up and then mount it. Bam. That's looking pretty nice. Let's go. I said I wanted to test out the orange ones, and then I'll do some B-roll with the PP scales. But yeah, simple as lining it up. Then get your screws, tighten it all up, and let's see what this puppy looks like here with the orange paintwork, shall we? And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we have upgraded the scales here to the orange, and bam, right? Check that out, right? Whole different knife with a whole different look right now. Looking really, really good. Of course, I still use the silver hardware on this one. And then I could have used a black one if I wanted to. I was looking to see if I had an orange plate, but the defaults are green, right? We could have a little bit of green to go with the thumb studs. We have blue and black. Those are the default ones that you get. Other than that, man, guys, check it out. There it is on the orange. I want to say, man, I'm a sucker for milling on a handle, so this feels so good. Maybe, you know, not as grippy as the diagonal milling, but having at least some milling there with those lines, that looks really good. I get you a closer look right here so you guys can see it. All right, check that out. And then I'm going to go ahead and collect my fingers here for the Ultim scales. Here we go. And just like that, guys, check it out here with the Ultim scales. PI, let me be technical here. So yeah, the PP scales here with the, you know, see-through. Obviously with this one, you're gonna actually be able to see a little bit of the inside. We can see the milling, we can see the Omega spring and all that good stuff. Still has the nice great diagonal milling that we got on the first, or the default set here with the aluminum scales there. And then yeah, man, this looks so good. I mean, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it, right? Benchmade, better watch out. Bug out, better watch out. We're getting M390 here with aluminum scales, the whole 9 yards. I mean, you can customize this thing to your heart's content. You can even do something wacky here with, you know, say aluminum on one side, Ultim on the other side. Put, you know, gray on one side, orange on the other, whatever you want to do. Right, definitely get wild with it if that's what you want to do. But yeah, $139 for something like this, whereas, you know, your standard, you know, starter Benchmade bug out, it's like $180 for FRN scales and the same M390 steel. I don't know. There's definitely a value proposition there, an argument to be made of, you know, where you get the best bang for the buck, and it's definitely right here. So also liking this jimp right here, this jimping, right? Seems like that would be really good for this sort of grip right here, which I use quite often from time to time. Now, of course, it wouldn't be a Miguel EDC video here if we don't do a scientific cutting test with this M390 here. And yeah, just as you would expect, this thing is a laser going through that paper. Look at that, boom, bam. Yeah, obviously it's gonna cut through that very easily there. And of course I got a piece of cardboard, single wall piece of cardboard, cutting at a diagonal angle here for better performance. Wow. I can't even speak fast enough. This thing is already cutting really well, guys. Yeah, quick work. Make some quick work out of that cardboard and paper. Clearly this thing means business. You guys rate this thing in the comments on a scale from 1 through 10. How sharp is it? Rate that factory edge. And also let me know your thoughts on this knife, right? What do you like about it? What do you love about it? Is there anything you dislike about it? Let me know. Let's hang out in the comment section down below. I absolutely would love to hear your thoughts on it. Hope you guys really enjoyed this one. If you made it to the end, you're the real MVP. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Either this one or this one. Peace.